radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy. The OG on the marquee, Jaybird. And the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We're not the Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
Well, it's going to be an interesting Thursday, everyone. Welcome to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Jay, it would seem like a slow sports day on a Thursday with no Thursday night football.
Yeah.
But we had the, which I'm going to start calling the Quad City debacle.
The Quad City debacle. Now,
maybe we should call it the KWQC debacle.
Okay.
So we'll jump into that. I don't know, 2 feet right now? I don't know.
Well, why don't you
But let's talk about the game first. So yesterday, due to COVID reasons, the Pittsburgh Steeler-Baltimore Raven game was pushed all the way back and started around 3 o'clock.
Yeah, there was 3 postponements of the game because there were more than 20 positive COVID-19 tests between the two teams. So nearly almost a full week after they were supposed to play on Thanksgiving night, they played on a Wednesday afternoon at 2:40 our time. So,
yeah. I'll go back, Jay, and what I want to say, and this might be a long rant, so we might be a while for our first break.
Okay.
What I want to say is when you don't learn from your past, you're bound to repeat it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to go back to a day, November 17th, 1968, Jay. That day sticks out to me for 2 reasons, Bird.
Mm-hmm.
One of my best friends in the world was born on that exact same day, Dean McGee. And also that day, there was a football game played between the Oakland Raiders and the New York Jets.
Yep.
Very exciting game. If you weren't alive then, I'll just give you a quick synopsis. The Raiders came back and scored 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes of the game to win it in a dramatic fashion over the Jets, who went on that year to win the Super Bowl over the Baltimore Colts. Now, in 1997, the game was named the most memorable regular season game of all time for this reason. At 7 o'clock, NBC decided to switch over to the Sunday movie of the week, which was Heidi.
Mm-hmm.
Starring the beautiful Sandy Duncan. People lost it. On the East Coast, Jet fans, everybody lost it. This game took a little bit longer than most games usually took, about 2.5 hours. I don't know if I couldn't remember. I didn't really get into too much detail. I don't know that this went to overtime or not. I don't think it did. But either way, the final 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes of the game were lost. And NBC took it big time. Because of this, they actually started a thing where they installed the Heidi phones. Because so many people were calling right up to the point of where this thing was going to happen, wondering if the football was going to continue or not, that the executives couldn't get through to the control board. They didn't have a direct through line. So NBC at the time made moves to make sure that it never happened again. Unless you are our local affiliate. Now, our local affiliate has come out with a statement from sports director Joey Danya, and if you haven't seen it, it's well thought out. Joey goes on to explain that it was a tough decision, but it's just a game. And because they aired Paula Sands, Kelly Clarkson, and Jeopardy, but more importantly, the content that was on Paula was of King's Harvest, I believe, or something like that. It was an animal shelter, and maybe I have it wrong, the name of it. But Joey goes on to say at the end, if one animal's life is saved because of the airing of that show, it was worth it.
It was worth it.
Well, Joe, and I like how you're playing to the heartstrings of everybody because everybody loves animals. Pets of all kinds. Dogs, cats, whatever you have. It was a poor decision, Joe, for many reasons. One, I'll tell you why. First of all, Joey, you knew you were going to do it. You had plenty of opportunity to inform everyone what was going to happen. You could have reached out to this show. I have your phone number. People could have announced it, made it known. Hey, not people calling in trying to find out what's going on at that mint. Okay? You talked a lot about local businesses, ones being the focus of what's going on Paula Sands, like this animal shelter. Well, a lot of local businesses, Joey, could only have watched this game, and assuming most of these are sports bars and things like that. Ones that, by the way, if you look into it just a little bit, you'll find out that most of the bars and restaurants that would be airing this game are some of the ones that are most financially hit during this dilemma that we're dealing with. So when you have people that are there to watch the game, all of a sudden, when you can't find the game and you look like bumbling idiots and you're trying to get your TV connected to it, and then when you go to kwqc.com or if you go to the thing, it's not pulling up still, and they get frustrated and leave, you just hurt more small businesses, bud.
Yeah.
Now, thanks to the great network of bartenders, bar owners, and whatnot within this great Quad Cities that we live in, somebody was smart enough to find out that Football Americano, on the NBC version of Telemundo, that's all I can say. I don't know what it is, but it's NBC Mexico, for all, whatever it was, happened to have that. Now, if you happen to have that on one of your other providers, whether it's a Dish, Direct, whatever, but it wasn't available if you just have an antenna, I can tell you that. You could find the game, and as the boss man said, might be the greatest way to watch footballs in Spanish.
Yeah, it's
which, I kind of agree with him there. But to just blatantly only air, which first of all was, I believe, Rachel Ray or Kelly Clarkson. I think it was Kelly Clarkson, one of the two. I think it was Kelly Clarkson. Making, as my buddy Erickson so politely said, making fricking cinnamon rolls. Mm-hmm. And I do understand that Paula Sands Live is a staple of his community, but
she's a treasure.
I'm willing to bet that Paula's taken a day off before.
She has.
Maybe it was just time for a day off. Reschedule that place that was there. Reschedule things or push things back a day. I don't know. There's other ways to do it. Or, hey, maybe you don't want to take the day off. You know what I just did? I went in and I discovered what Channel 6 has. Not only the regular Channel 6, they have 6.3, 6.4, and 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
They easily could have put Paula Sands on any one of those points. Rachel Ray, Kelly Clarkson, whoever it was. Kelly Clarkson! And it had this air out. Now, I've also heard, our friends down the hall talked about this a little bit, that it had to do with advertisers, Jay. They didn't want to make advertisers upset. Well, I do believe, no matter what football game it is, and every one I've ever watched that's aired on a local channel, local advertising gets its spots during any one of these national advertised football games. So I guarantee you this. The people that normally would advertise during Paula Sands or Kelly Clarkson, Jeopardy, if you will, they would have loved to have their stuff pop on the air during this.
No disrespect to
Paula. But I'm just saying, Paula, I'm pretty sure that the ratings, would love to see what 410 got for ratings yesterday in the Quad Cities compared to Paula Sands for football. Compared to Paula, all right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, the advertisers easily could have been taken care of. Or at the same time, by putting them on that game and still. Or just by simply saying, guys, we'll give you a little extra perk here or there.
Yeah, you can make it up.
It's not that hard. And I'm pretty sure that at the end, everyone would have been happy. But it's pretty easy to prevent all of this and all of the controversy just by making a statement well before. You guys aired a show at noon, by the way. I believe you do your local news at noon. Could have been brought up then.
Yeah, there's been plenty of things that have been postponed, and then they on the bottom ticker it says the showing of this and this will be on at 3:00 in the morning or whatever else, and then you can set up your DVRs. You're not missing too much, but this was the first time since 2012 that a game was played on a Wednesday, and the other time before that was I think. Did I say it was 60? I think also 68. They played it on a Wednesday as well.
Well, I like what our friend Stocking had said too.
We could have put it on
Stocking was along the same with the Cozy, and that's with the 6.3, 6.4, whatever. But he's like, it was a terrible decision.
You've got an undefeated team.
Yes.
You've got
a heated division rival.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being a backdoor coverage, eh?
It did. So the final score was 19-10. Going at kickoff, the Steelers were 10.5-point favorites. And then with less than 3 minutes in the game, third-string quarterback Trace McSorley threw a 70-yard touchdown pass to Marquise Brown. So, I mean, you have an undefeated team. People want to watch an undefeated team. The
Steelers.
Yes.
It is hands down the top 3 most popular teams in the NFL.
Yeah, that's weird about that. When, not to get too much on the guys down the hall, but his comment was there's only like 9 Steeler fans in the Quad City, and that's not true.
No, well, then he doesn't know much about what's going on in sports in the Quad Cities. Because I got 9 Steelers fans that go into Harrington's alone.
Yes, so that's a fan base that is going to...
It's huge in the Quad Cities.
I mean, really, really, if you're not the local like Packers or Vikings or Bears, Steelers have a big following, Cowboys have a big following. I'll give the guys in their herd gang the Denver, but you don't have a lot more outside of those. I mean, it really is. And then you have that rare like Dolphins fan because of Marino type of thing.
A lot of Steeler fans.
Yeah,
a
lot of Steeler fans. So they're easily around here because when we get when you talk to people,
it's just a terrible decision. And my other point was this, Jay, to throw Joey out there to be the guy that has to jump on the sword for the sake of the station. There was a time when Joey had left for a short time where that station didn't even care to replace Joe. He was gone. We had no sports out of that station whatsoever.
And then just threw him under the bus and backed over him again by making him put on there.
That's what I'm saying. We've had Joey on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think Joey's a great guy.
Yeah, Roseman says Steelers are the biggest group at our bars as well.
And that's what I'm getting at. It's like, until Joey came back and then they hired Scooby, they had no care what in the world about sports at that station. And maybe that's why they make these decisions they do.
Do they get a feeling that NBC doesn't really care that much because they moved it to that kickoff because they didn't want to mess with the Rockefeller tree lighting? You look at above, if you're an affiliate of the show and you go, the parent company, NBC itself, doesn't really care that much about it because they did in the afternoon, so we shouldn't care that much. All of it's so wonky, and the idea that
listen, the money that the NFL throws at these networks pales in comparison to any of the kind of the money that any other entity throws at these networks.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Now NBC is probably getting the least amount right now because they only get Sunday Night Football. You follow me?
Okay. Yeah.
That's fine, but still. When the time comes to renegotiate the contracts, there was a time when AFC games were always played on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
Get that out. Boy, a lot of MZs and Cs and Ds. NFC games were always played on CBS. And then Fox came in the mix. So now you got 3, 4, plus ABC in the mix with Monday Night Football. You don't think ABC sometimes wants to get in on that Sunday action? A lot of bidding wars going on for that.
Again, it was just a weird time, and this NFL is just trying to get this always in. They're not trying to push anything back to like weeks. We talked about this before when they easily could have spaced this out. I don't know why they're so big on getting the Super Bowl in the first weekend of February, but They are. It doesn't really need to be. The NFL is really big on there is no asterisk in our season. I mean, they've pushed things around. I mean, we don't have Thursday Night Football now because of them moving things around.
Right.
It's like I said, it's Dallas and Ravens. I mean, they've moved things around before.
I don't know. I really don't know why that Joey had to be the guy to
Well, the most important thing is make the announcement, not an apology.
Yeah, an apology. And then when it says the fans were very angry, of course they were very angry.
Yeah.
And don't give me the horse hockey that you're trying to do something for small businesses or save animals. Don't do that. Don't give me that BS excuse. No. Yes, I care about dogs and cats too. Yeah. Play the damn game. All right, don't give me that.
And then on top of it, that we all know what's going on. We have to shut down at 10 o'clock. That was a push for a happy hour that we sometimes don't get on Wednesday.
And then what was the other thing? They canceled his dance thing because of COVID. Yeah, Joe. Guess what? We've had a lot of things canceled. And guess what? You're still getting paid. Some fundraiser for.
Is that the Quad Cities best? Dance?
It was for dogs too.
Oh.
And cats and whatever. All right, I get it. A lot of things have been canceled. A lot of fundraisers have been canceled, Joe. Mm-hmm. Our one that we throw every year that we raise money for Parkinson's research got canceled this year.
Yeah.
A ton of them. The Bigs got canceled this year. Ugh. So many things got canceled this year. We get it. But don't just cancel a football game without giving people notice and then come on here with a BS excuse.
Yeah.
It's complete BS. I'm not going to sit here. I don't have to apologize, and I don't have to. I'm a damn citizen, so there, take it. I'll tell you what I think. And if it wasn't for the fact that I have to watch my Wheel of Fortune, which they did air, by the way.
Of course they did.
But you know what? Huh. There's been times when I don't get to watch my Wheel of Fortune because of football. You know what I never do there, Jay?
What's that?
I never call and complain.
Yeah.
Even though they're showing a little bit too much early coverage sometimes.
Well, like we said on that, Roethlisberger survived an early interception, but he ended up going 36 for 51 for 266 yards, and he did throw for a touchdown. We also tonight, we've got Iowa basketball game against Western Illinois as they go into a big week next week. So I'll be heading up to Iowa City sometime later on tonight. But, just piggybacking onto that before we go to our first break of the hour, it is transparent that they made him come out and say something. He's not making the decisions. Joey didn't make the decision.
No, he didn't. And that's why I kind of feel bad. I'm riding Joey a little bit, but when they're going to throw him out there to be the face of the place.
Then, yeah.
But it's ridiculous, and he knows it's ridiculous too. And don't tell me it's just a game.
Anderson says
it's just one Paula Sands show.
Anderson says in the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, did anyone really want to see that Ravens team on there? Yeah. That's the thing. When you build this up and you postpone something for 6 days, people are going to see what's going on, what they're putting out there.
I can tell you this: the crowd showed up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but we've all been to that part too, where, like,
I'm checking it.
I mean, I tweeted it out before. I said things like, "Hey, just to let everyone know, if this game goes into another, like Iowa basketball, let's just say it's on ESPN, like the ACC Classic. I mean, the ACC Big Ten Challenge that's coming up next week, where Iowa plays North Carolina. Right? If there's a game on right before that, and it extends and goes to overtime, ESPN's going to go and keep that game on. You don't need to then harass the bartender telling them that Iowa's already tipped off. That's not their,
But at the same time, they'll put a ticker on the bottom saying, "Hey, it's available on blank channel until this one's over."
Yeah,
that's the other thing. I mean, I don't know. It's not just a game.
No, it's not just a game.
It's a poor decision.
Yeah,
and everybody was out for this, Jay. Everywhere. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers. I can see the numbers everywhere. It's insane.
Now the NFL finally has completed Week 13, And Steelers are still undefeated, and now we can move on, and hopefully we can survive another. RG3 started for the Ravens.
Didn't he hurt his hamstring halfway through?
Yeah, that's why Trace came in. So, yeah, it's been a while since we've heard anything from RG3. So that's why you want to watch the Ravens game. I mean, you want to watch the Ravens. It's something new. You know, there was a time he was one-time NFL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He's also the number 2 overall pick in his draft.
Yeah.
So, Andrew Luck going 1 in that draft. But, yeah, maybe it'll go, maybe people will, forget about it. But for now, it was just our local type of news going on, And locally, it was not their best decision. But I do have to make a clarification before we go to break. I did get a message. Yesterday, we talked quite a bit about the, when things are going on, because people know we have
strong ties to the restaurant and bar community.
So someone did reach out to me.
And I think, like we said, Leah kind of said some things about...
So what we said was, like, are they secret shopping? Is the Iowa Health Department coming in and secret shopping the bars or whatever? And, Bomber, she can say some things. Usually she'll go off a little bit. And we've usually pulled her back. And I feel like yesterday maybe we didn't. We say, like, no, it doesn't work like that. There's a liquor license that you have to go through. There's all these things.
Well, I think you made the comment, and when she said this, that you go, well, that's interesting. We'll have to look into that.
Yes, because she was saying it has to be a warrant. But I did get a message, and it said, I just wanted to make sure that the correct information is provided to your listeners. 1, we are not secret shopping. So that means people are listening to our show. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Anyway,
and thank you, Health Department. We love that you listen.
We are not secret shopping. However, we are conducting routine inspections and are required by the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals to report any violation of the most recent governor's proclamation to the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals, as well as the Iowa Alcohol Beverage Division. 2, we are granted the authority to conduct these inspections under Chapter 31 of the Iowa Administrative Code 481.31. When a licensee applies for a license, this is an agreement to abide by all requirements of the 2013 Food Code and the Iowa Administrative Codes as applicable. Refusal to allow for an inspection may result in further administration action and including closure. A warrant is not required, as outlined in the mentioned code. For more information, you can go to the proclamation requirements and progressive discipline measures. Basically, I looked it up. Basically, it's you don't abide by what the Governor Reynolds emergency public health disaster proclamation is, that you can get a $1,000 fine. And then that's if you have an alcohol food license. You understand?
Yep.
If you have just only food license, they will issue a warning the first time. But it's a $1,000 fine. Second documented infraction for either a business with only food license as well as those by the food and alcohol permit license will trigger a 7-day suspension of the business alcohol permit or license by the ABD. Third infraction will trigger the revocation of all food and alcohol permits and licenses for the offending business. So keep this in mind.
If you own a business, abide by Governor Reynolds' proclamations.
If there is a table that is shut down because we need to do social distancing of group by 6 feet, you are putting that business in jeopardy when you sit there and say, come on. But we want to sit down. Come on. But hey, I'm really happy this person reached out to me.
Yeah, I am too. And it clears it up so that when we know, listen, and that's what I've been saying all the time. Your liquor license, your food license, they're not negotiable. You have to follow the laws of which are set forth. And the way that the health department and the ABD look at it is when the governor comes down with a proclamation, it's their job to enforce it. So maybe we did say the word secret shopping yesterday. Apologize, but, we get information as we get it too. So either way, someone came in, did a chat. They leveled a fine, which is terrible. We don't like to see it. But be careful out there to all our restaurant listeners and friends.
Roseman at the bowling alley, he said on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, we had 28 league bowlers on a Saturday night. Someone called in and turned us in. We got an email warning us. 28 people. And I I didn't know if they shut that down. I thought leagues were shut down, but I didn't know. Does it? I mean, no, because I still
but
go.
How can I mean?
You can, how do they know it's a league?
Well, how do they?
Someone. Yeah, it's terrible that someone did that. That's someone.
You got
And we have conversations about this daily with some customer who tells you, kind of like Leah tells you the law that they think of it, the proclamation, and they say like, do you have to close at 10? Yeah, it's not worth $1,000 fine. No. And the other thing is, there are places out there probably, and I honestly can't, I wouldn't name them, but there's probably some out there that are taking it to another level. And maybe risking it for us even more in the future.
Well, at least risking it for themselves. I mean, if you're not out there, listen, don't have seats at your bar. There's ways around it. And separate your tables and do your best. Your bartenders, servers, whatever, wear masks. It's not worth it to lose your entire livelihood.
Nope. All right. Well, let's take our first break.
Yay. Where did Leah put all the ads? You never know with that girl.
There
they are, Jay. I found them. Look at me.
Look at you go.
Locally owned and operated, everybody. Tri-City Equipment has been around since 1934, giving the Quad Cities the best source for restaurant equipment and value. They have anything you need from cookware, refrigeration, utensils, you name it. Everything is guaranteed on parts and labor. If you're looking to cater an event or you just want to get a gift for a home chef, go to tricityequipment.com and check out what they have online, or stop down to their newly remodeled 2,400 square foot showroom in downtown Davenport at 527 West 4th Street. Remember, they do deliver to all Quad City residents and they match online pricing. Give them a call today if you have any questions, 563-322-5382. Once again, showroom hours are 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. That's Tri-City Equipment, 527 West 4th Street in Davenport.
You like that? You like that? Holy cow!
This is Coach A.C. Earl. Don't hassle us, we're local.
Football is back at the Double Crown. No fans allowed in the stands, so get the best seats possible at the Double Crown Bar and Grill. During all big college football games, enjoy $5 pitchers of domestics and $2 wells. Stop in for lunch during the week. Tuesday is all-you-can-eat wings and Friday nights all-you-can-eat fish, both for just $11. Plus happy hour daily from 2 till 6. For daily specials, find them on Facebook. Double your fun every day at the Double Crown Bar and Grill, 217 Brady Street, downtown Davenport.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Kendrick Perkins.
Max, you argued me down on first take about how good of a player Chris Middleton was.
No, I didn't.
And I told you, yes, you did. And I told you that he wasn't that type of guy, right?
But he did
play. Oh, I'm making stuff up.
I argued for Chris Middleton. No, I said Chris Middleton should be at best the third best player on a championship team. You need another dude who can go get his own shot and do it on a higher level than Middleton if you want to pair him with Giannis to win a championship. I never said anything different than that. I wasn't thinking the Bucks were going to win a title this year.
So did you have a bus coming out of the East?
Yep. I sure did. Shut up, Perk. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
This is Greeny.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to be the best 1-2 punch in basketball again next year, regardless of what the Clippers do, regardless of what they have in Brooklyn, regardless of what they have in Houston, regardless of what they have in Dallas, regardless of anything else that happens.
Greeny. Weekdays at 11 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers, but maybe you're unaware of new tools that can help your business stand out. Go to townsquarequadcities.com now for a free market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too. There's no cost and no obligation. Be one of the first business owners to sign up and receive $500 in free advertising here on ESPN 1170. Get started today. Call 563-202-2230 or visit townsquarequadcities.com.
The holidays are right around the corner. Don't stress out finding that perfect gift for that hard-to-buy someone on your list. Shop Premier Metal Art. They do custom engraving on items like tumblers, promotional items, and other custom gifts. They even do holiday decor and family namesakes. These multi-layered, full-color, powder-coated metal art items are a must-have this holiday season. Customize your man cave or purchase a gift for a sports fan, a first responder, or even a veteran. Order now online at qcpremier.com or on Facebook. Finish your holiday shopping today.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
If you don't think analytics are a useful tool in winning games in sports, then what you should do is when you go to the racetrack, you should just pick horses based upon which one you think is the prettiest. You should disregard everything else you might find in a racing form. You should pick stocks based upon how much you like the names of the companies. Disregard information that might help you make an informed decision. You wouldn't do that because you're not an idiot, and neither are the people running sports teams and making decisions. Analytics are a great example of something that has turned into a hot button topic as we've attached a fancy or frightening word to a very simple concept. Analytics are just the things that have happened. That's all they are. They're just telling you what's happened. In the past, this has happened.
Greeny, weekdays at 11, a Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Meet the Bakers.
Happy holidays!
This year, they're especially thankful for family time.
Oh, he's gotten so big!
And with pizza deals at Casey's all season long, they can spend less time in the kitchen and more time catching up.
It's so good to see you.
Now at Casey's, get 2 large single-topping pizzas for just $8.99 each.
Yum!
Casey's, here for family time, here for good.
Follow us on Facebook for the latest sports news and join the conversation. This is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back, Quad Cities. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us a Local on AM 1170.
Like we said, there is no Thursday night football in the NFL, but there still are 2 NCAA games. Louisiana Tech sits at 4-3. Will be at North Texas 3-4. Louisiana Tech is listed as a 2.5-point road favorite. The public is backing Louisiana Tech. We have seen this. It was 2/3 of the points, or 2/3 of the bets coming from the public are laying the points with Louisiana Tech. So there's been a huge adjustment. So it moved the mean green of North Texas from +2.5 to -1.5. Louisiana Tech, that is. This is Louisiana Tech might have some rust, so this will be their first game since October 31st. So the pros are backing North Texas, though. Let's see. And then the late game, it's a Mountain West grudge match between Air Force and Utah State. Air Force sits at 2-2. And they just got over a 2-game losing streak when they had a 28-0 shutout win over New Mexico. Air Force is listed as a 10.5-point road favorite. This has moved up from there, though. It's 10.5 to 11.5 now. So it opened at 10.5. Now it's 11.5. Air Force is averaging 26 points per game on offense and giving up 18.3 points per game on defense. Utah State is averaging 17.2 points on offense while allowing 35 points on defense. Air Force has a triple option attack, and Utah State has a very porous run defense. So, looking to look at Air Force to cover the 11.5 and maybe taking the points with North Texas. So, that's what's going on. If you really need to see some football, you can watch those 2 games. So we said week 12 is finally done. We're going into week 13 on Sunday. Currently, the Bills are leading the AFC East. The undefeated Steelers are 11-0. And they're leading the North. In the South, Tennessee.
How many games are they leading the North by?
Looks like 2.5. No, they're leading by 3 games. 3 full games.
Okay.
Cleveland is sitting at the 5 seed in that. Cleveland's the number 2 team.
Okay.
Miami is number 2 in the East. They're sitting as a 6. So if we're to start right now, your 1 seed in the AFC would be Pittsburgh. Your 2 would be Kansas City at 10-1. Your 3 would be Tennessee, who's leading the South, and your 4 would be Buffalo, leading the East. Cleveland, like I said, is the 5. Miami would be the 6, and Indianapolis is looking at the 7. On the outside looking in there at the 7 is Las Vegas Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens. In the NFC, the New York Giants are your current leader of the NFC East.
What's the record?
At 4-7.
Oh, man, they're good.
Your 1 seed in the NFC would be New Orleans. They're sitting at 9-2. Seattle, 8-3. It would be your 2 seed. And Green Bay is your 3 seed at 8-3. Like I said, Giants are the 4 because they're division at 4-7. Rams are the 5. And they would go and travel to
New York.
Yeah, they go to the Giants. Arizona is at your 7 at 6-5. I'm sorry, Tampa Bay at 7-5 is at the 6. Arizona at 6-5 goes in there. Outside looking in there is San Francisco somehow. We talk a lot, and Minnesota. They're both at 5-6, and the Chicago Bears are 5-6. Which, by the way, Trubisky probably is going to remain the starter from here on out for a while.
What did they ever say was wrong with Foles?
He's not.
He hurt himself at the end of that game.
Yeah, but I don't. It's just not working. That's all. The way I look at it, the way I see it, or read it, is that it's just not clicking. Neither is Trubisky though. So, yeah. They're not going to. I know the NFL flirted with adding an 8th team for the playoffs, but
so that's not happening now.
Not yet. No, they haven't said anything. All right, we've mentioned multiple times because we talked about the Steelers, and they are 11-0. Teams to start 11-0 since the post-merger era, so since 1970, have gone on to win the Super Bowl. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 teams have gone on, had started the season 11-0.
Let me guess how many made or won the Super Bowl.
Okay, how many?
There's how many of them again?
12. Yep.
8.
Have won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
5. Just 5.
Wow.
We know the 72 Dolphins went undefeated.
Right.
Dan Marino, in just his second year, took them to 14-2 after starting 11-0. They lost the Super Bowl. Chicago Bears were 11-0 when they lost the game on Monday Night Football to the New England Patriots. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. The Redskins in 1991 won the Super Bowl. The Denver Broncos of the 98 season won the Super Bowl. And then finally, the New Orleans Saints in 2009 won the Super Bowl. Teams to lose it were the 2015 Carolina Panthers, the 2009 Indianapolis Colts, the 2007 New England Patriots, and the like I said, the 84 Dolphins. One team didn't even win the division. It was 2005 Colts. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 did. And the Packers did. Lost the division in 2011. So
yeah, Rodgers had a great year. They got upset by the Giants.
Yeah, lost in the divisional game. So it's we'll see where they go. I think we kind of all talked about this, that I do think Kansas City is the best looking team by far, and what they're doing right now in the
is that because they come back and win at the end of the game, and they leave you with that feeling that they can just do that every time?
Yes.
Because I feel that, yeah, they look good at times, but there's times when they look very vulnerable.
Well, you need to have that one odd game where it's 40-32 and the Raiders win the game.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's what happened. They have to play off. How's that? They have to have an off day. And you better be playing at your best. Not often does that happen, but that's what the playoffs are. Also, one game.
I think the Steelers had the defense to hold them.
Yeah,
that's my thought. But it's gonna be fun to watch. I
hope
it happens.
I want to add some more things real quick before we go to just after the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. We're going back to the segment that we had before when we were talking about, the businesses and whatnot, and we've got Roseman in his bowling alley, and he says on here, he makes 90% of his league is bowling, He's dead without help. That's right. And Brown's backer said a nice thing. Roseman and his family basically saved the bowling business in Quad Cities years ago. Yeah, we're all praying that it would end soon. So right now, we're looking at that this proclamation is going through December 10th. We hope that there is a press conference on Monday or Tuesday and says as of midnight on December 10th, this expires. And everybody can go back and running. When she made this proclamation, our numbers at a positivity test rate in Iowa were 28.7. Now we're down to 17.1. So that's
we're down. We're down to 11.
No, 17.1. I said.
I thought you said we were down 17%.
No, we were down. No.
We're down to 17%. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're down 11% total.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, we're down. Yeah, positivity test rate. Yeah. So, but we're not as high as we used to be either. We're not the very top of the little thermometer on the COVID Act now, and this is for the state of Iowa. But and our county isn't even in the top 6 for
counties in Iowa
for daily new cases per 100,000 tested. Yeah, we're not in the top 15. We're not in the top 20. We're not in the top 25. We are 29 out of 99. So, well, it just gets to be a shame. And sometimes, we've talked about it, and it's almost ad nauseum. And when you have to do this and you have to report this game doing that, and now we've lost up to 9 college bowl games. So for all those guys out there that have ever written a column about how it's ridiculous how many bowl games there are, now they get to write a column about what a travesty this is. NBA is going to open up on December 22nd. They've already announced their triple header schedule for that, and the NBA is going to have the games at their hosted cities. They're not going to a bubble for this season, but it's a doubleheader on December 22nd. The Nets and Golden State Warriors will be in the first game. The Lakers and the Clippers will be the second game. Then they release the Christmas Day schedule as well. Miami Heat will host the Pelicans. Golden State Warriors will take on the Bucks, and Kyrie Irving will play his first game in Boston as a member of the Brooklyn Nets. And then also LeBron and Luka will be dueling it out as the Lakers host the Mavericks. Their league is planning on releasing the schedule in portions to allow for flexibility for makeup games, if needed, obviously, because of what we're talking about. Like I mentioned, while the league finished the 2019-20 season safely inside a bubble environment, the NBA is opting to compete the upcoming season in each team's home market. So, NBA is opening up the season the way it wanted to. I think it would already open by now, but they had to push it back a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Right now, we're on a third wave. We've had, we had as many. We've reached our highest in death totals of a day, and to put it into perspective of what's going on, Japan is still trying to get the games going for the Tokyo Olympics. And according to an AP report, they're trying to find a way to let fans from abroad attend the games.
Sweet.
They're going to use a health tracking app. So they've discussed using a health tracking app as a measure that could allow fans from abroad to attend the games. The reason being is that because of this delay, it's cost somewhere between $2 to $3 billion. So selling tickets would be one way to offset this. Japanese citizens are not happy about this. And why that is a thing, more Americans died of the COVID-19 on Wednesday than Japan has lost to the virus since the pandemic began. So I can see why they're a little upset, but it's great that they're going to do that as well. All right, before we take a break, some other news. LeBron James and the Lakers agreed Wednesday to a 2-year, $85 million contract extension through the 2022-23 season. Why is this important? Because that's going to make him a free agent this same year his son, Bronny, graduates high school and likely becomes draft eligible, because we've said that they're probably going to stop with the one and done. So, LeBron and his kid It's going to be interesting. Whoever drafts him, someone's going to be tanking and whatever else because LeBron can play a 1-year deal to go play with his kid. Good for him for forward thinking. All right, let's take our second break. We'll be right back. ESPN 1170. Don't hassle us for local.
Quad Cities, we urge you to stop going to your social media sites asking everybody where you need to get your oil changed, who does the best tattoo work, or where you're just going to grab some lunch. It's easy to figure out if you grab your Locals Love It's guide and go to their easy-to-navigate table of contents to help you find what you're looking for, or just simply go to localsloveit.com. Click on Quad Cities and browse your favorites. It's easy to use, and my boy Chopper even ranks the most popular places for you. So please go check it out. These are our friends from Locals Love It. They're your guide to the best.
You like that? You like that? Holy cow!
This is Tyson Blazer, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 1170 AM.
The Circle Tap in Davenport is your place to catch all the action this football season. Enjoy $2 cans for every Iowa and Iowa State game and watch every NFL game with the NFL Sunday Ticket on one of their 16 flat-screen TVs. Get $2 domestic cans and $6 pulled pork sandwiches and fries every Sunday. Book your holiday party now and enjoy the heated patio for your next event. Enjoy great food, great drinks, and great friends all season long at the Circle Tap, West Locust Street, Davenport.
Hey, Quad Cities, it's Jaybird with Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Get your local sports talk 12 to 2 with me, T-Roy, Bomber, and Surge. Download the station app to listen to us anywhere, and like us on social media to join in the conversation. Plus, when you sign up to be an ESPN Insider, you'll get access to all of our great contests and everything that's going on at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. We are the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
2020 has forced all of us to spend more time at home. If your kitchen or bathroom are outdated, you need a new look. Now's the time to call All Star Home Services. Book your complete kitchen or bath project with All Star Home Services before the end of the year and get $1,000 off, even if you wait until the new year to complete your project. And with financing available, don't let the holiday bills stop your transformation. Call All Star Home Services today, 563-299-3786, or visit all-starhomeservices.com.
This is Greeny.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to be the best 1-2 punch in basketball again next year, regardless of what the Clippers do, regardless of what they have in Brooklyn, regardless of what they have in Houston, regardless of what they have in Dallas, regardless of anything else that happens.
Greeny. Weekdays at 11 on the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Kendrick Perkins.
Max, you argued me down on First Take about how good of a player Chris Middleton was.
No, I didn't.
And I told you, yes, you did. And I told you that he wasn't that type of guy, right?
But he did play.
Oh, I'm making stuff up.
I argued for Chris Middleton. No, I said Chris Middleton should be at best the third best player on a championship team. You need another dude who can go get his own shot and do it on a higher level than Middleton if you want to pair him with Giannis to win a championship. I never said anything different than that. I wasn't thinking the Bucks were going to win a title this year.
So did you have a bus coming out of the East?
Yep. I sure did. Shut up, Perk. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
BMS hotline.
I'm hiding in the closet. I'm really frightened. I didn't know who else to call.
It's all right, sir. Now tell me, what's the matter?
Well, it's my wife. She's in this mood.
Was it a grouchy mood, sad mood, moody mood? Sir, please describe the mood.
Well, kind of like all three.
You didn't tell her she was fat, did you?
Geez, I'm not that stupid. See, I was test riding a new Suzuki Intruder from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic in Bettendorf. Well, I guess I just forgot her birthday was today, and she started yelling at me.
Go on.
So I told her that I was buying it for her.
First, you need to reassure her and tell her that you love her and that riding a Suzuki motorcycle helps to ease cramps and bloating.
Cramps and bloating? Hey! Is this the pre-motorcycle syndrome hotline?
No, sir. This is the other PMS hotline.
Oh, no, she found me. Gotta go. Maybe I'll be calling you in 28 days.
Come test drive one today. Brenny's, 4426 State Street in Bettendorf, across from Alcoa. Almost.
Follow us on Facebook at ESPN 1170 AM. We are the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Don't Hassle Us Local here on AM 1170. Oh, Bird.
Well, the list, I told you, I think on Tuesday, that the list was going to be a lot bigger for the non-tendered baseball players, and it actually went up. And some of the names that were the important ones were the Cubs, Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
So he's now a free agent. And, American League, National League teams are going to be waiting to see if the universal DH thing is going to come through. It doesn't mean the Cubs can't sign him to a free agent deal. The Cubs say they're interested in him. I don't know how much that is just lip service or anything like that. But in total, 59 players didn't receive a tender. It's the highest number of non-tenders over the past 6 years. And it's not really any surprise. It's even mentioned here on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread that, you can read it and everything else that, E's or A's says it, teams were non-tendering players to resign them for less since the market is expected to be, not good. He used a different word, but yeah. And Dave Gallagher says it too. MLB ownership is going to cry foul on free agents because of the COVID restrictions. Yeah. And it's what they're going to say. But we're going to have players out of jobs. And then the other news was the trade in the NBA. Westbrook for Wall. So in our second straight year, Russell Westbrook has been traded in the offseason. He said he wanted out of Houston, so has James Harden. But they got a deal. The Rockets have dealt him to the Wizards in exchange for John Wall and a 2023 first-round pick with protections. Both of them had non-team friendly contracts, so it's kind of just getting rid of one with who didn't have a very good attitude towards it. But I don't know. I don't think Harden's going to be out, even though he says he wants to go to Brooklyn. But that's something we'll talk to AC about when we come in. And then finally, how did we not talk about the boxing exhibition over the weekend?
What, Tyson and
Roy Jones Jr.?
We did.
But all we talk about, because I want to talk more about what did you say? I don't remember.
Remember we talked about it because Tyson Jones doesn't want to get hit by Tyson ever again?
Oh, yeah. I thought I know we previewed it. Well, now Holyfield wants in on the action.
Really?
Yeah.
He wants to get his other bit off?
I guess so. He made a statement, and it said that no more excuses. This is the fight that must happen for both our legacies. He went on to say, Saturday night, you said you were ready to fight me, so sign the contract and get in the ring, Tyson. The world is waiting, and and it's on you now. I'm ready. Obviously, this would be a big
deal.
Pay-per-view. Oh, yeah, because we talked on Monday that I said I can't believe people paid $50 to watch this. Apparently, Snoop Dogg was great doing play-by-play.
Yeah, he said, made the comment, I guess, that it looked like two of his uncles at a family picnic fighting.
Yeah. They tried to get this ahead of time, and it didn't work out. Holyfield said, my side tried to make this fight happen, and we got nothing but excuses. Now I can see why he wanted a tune-up fight before thinking about fighting me. Roy Jones was a good local opponent for Mike, but a fight with me would be a global event, and the only fight that anyone wants to see is a fight between us. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't make it happen. I'm struggling to figure out if I do want to see this. I don't think we the only reason to see this is to introduce a younger fan base of boxing to Mike Tyson, because the amount of
and Holyfield.
Yeah, that's true. But the amount of YouTube clips of people going back to watch him fight would be incredible. And then, of course, the biting his ear.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw that. It was something else.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. To be that much of a psychopath, to think that you can get away with biting someone's ear in the middle of a boxing ring when it's, breaking records for pay-per-views.
Well, Mike was tormented back then.
Yeah, he was a little bit.
It's a different Mike Tyson now.
Yeah, now he just...
ludicrous.
It's ludicrous. Yeah. So, we'll see what happens, though. I would assume Tyson's camp would be okay with this, because knowing the payout that you're going to get.
Oh, yeah. But this is going to happen. The Roy Jones thing was fairly popular.
Yeah. I guess, and Brad, right, he wouldn't quit headbutting him, though, so, yeah. It's... And Eddie says, too, with the same rules, no, the whole, no knockout, no TKO or anything like that. It was always going to be a draw no matter what. So, and Anderson said, Tyson said he was high as hell during this fight. Yeah, he did mention that he was smoking marijuana before fighting Jones.
He did?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's so weird.
He's just a character, man.
I know.
He's a total character now. But, it's great in a way because he's turned himself from being a kind of a pariah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Kind of went nuts. Obviously, the biting thing, the tattoo in the face, and then, he gets to be in The Hangover 1 and 2.
Yeah.
He totally redeems himself.
Yeah, when people say, I read stuff on that where, people's kids were saying, why is the guy from The Hangover fighting in the boxing ring? So, yeah. But I just don't want it to be the type of thing where it's an automatic draw just for exhibition purposes.
No, I think they need to have a real fight. But schedule it, and they're older. So Tyson's what, 54?
Yeah, I think so. I think I just had it in front of me.
And Holyfield's got to be close to 60. He's older than Mike, I believe. He's probably 59, 58.
Let me see. I had it here.
You had it?
Yeah, I think I had it. Mike's 54. I don't have Holyfield. I don't have Holyfield's age in front of me.
Hey, Siri, how old is Vander Holyfield?
58.
Oh, there you go. Gosh, I was right.
You're right, and Roy Jones is 51. See, I don't want to see a 58-year-old.
What do you mean? We saw George Foreman fight almost at this age.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It would be good to give another shot in the arm for boxing because it's.
Listen, let's do this.
Do you think Tyson could fight Tyson Fury? Go for the heavyweight title still?
No.
I don't think so either. That reach would be too much for Tyson.
Well, it's just the reflexes are just not there anymore. It's not the same.
How old was Foreman when he beat who was it? Tommy Gunn?
Yeah, but Foreman was more like
Tommy Morrison, but I call him Tommy Gunn from Rocky.
Let me think about this. Foreman lost. That was in the mid-70s. That was then that became like mid-80s, mid-90s.
He won it in the 90s, yeah. I think it was 90.
He would have probably been like 48 or 49. But he looked older.
Huh.
He learned how to fight differently, though. I don't know. No, Tyson couldn't, Jay. There's too many. Just think there's just too many twitch reflexes that slow down as you get old compared to when you're young. There's no way. But him against Holyfield again would be fun to watch. I say limit it to a 6-round event, though. Maybe 5.
I don't even know how long the Roy Jones Jr. one was.
Keep it safe for him, for both of them. Seriously. But have knockouts and have whatever.
Yeah, I want a winner. I don't want to draw. I don't want it. It's like
right.
It's a
like kissing your sister.
Yes, but it's the end of Rocky 3, the beginning of Rocky 4.
You know what it's like? It's like turning on Channel 6 to watch football
and then just getting let down.
Clarkson. Yeah.
But it's like they never ever say who won in the quote unquote exhibition between Rocky and Apollo. when they get into the ring at the end of Rocky 3, because he said, you owe me a favor, you owe me one, Stallion.
Ooh, ding, ding.
Yeah, you want to ring the bell? So, but they never mention it. And then they go into Rocky 4, and, where were you at? And he was with a friend. And then the kid says, who gave you the black eye? Same friend. So, I don't. There needs to be a clear winner.
Well, who won? Oh, yeah, Rocky beat. Was it a draw against him and Thunderlips?
That was an exhibition, yeah.
Yeah, but that was a draw.
That ended up being complete chaos.
Yeah.
We got to talk about our team across the river, our state. Illinois lost to Baylor 82-69. It's Illinois. Baylor's number 2.
Basketball?
Yeah, they lost yesterday. It was a Jimmy V Classic. They've had that annual doubleheader since 1995.
82 to what?
82-69. But Baylor covered the spread. I think it was 5.5. But
Baylor's ranked second?
Second. Illinois was 5 at the time.
I don't think it's a big deal.
No, Baylor pulled ahead. It was closer than what the score looks like.
I mean, in basketball, you can lose a game here or there. You're still going to be a top 10 team. I think Illinois is very good.
Oh,
you
really
get Huggy on here, he's going to just go nuts. He loves his team. Yeah.
I didn't like seeing at the Maui Invitational, which was played where at some casino.
Somewhere in North Carolina.
Yeah, Asheville. Yeah, the Maui Invitational was played at Asheville, North Carolina.
Texas you can't travel to Hawaii?
Texas beat UNC 69-67. I really wanted UNC to win this game because when you have the ACC Big Ten Championship, North Carolina's coming into town this next week, and I think at the time, actually, UNC was 9. So, that being said...
There's still not a team to sleep on.
Who?
North Carolina.
No, and I'd like to see Iowa's. You know what? They'll give us the SIDs at Iowa are so good. They'll give us all that information about Iowa and the ACC Big Ten Challenge under Fran, all-time record, everything else. So, in other news, other big scores, Gonzaga beat West Virginia 87-82. We saw Kakert. I talked to him last week at the basketball game. He said he watched Gonzaga. He feels like Gonzaga is head and shoulders better than Iowa, even at Iowa ranked number 3.
Who feels that?
Kakert.
Cake?
Yep. Well, they had 4 players score at least 17 points.
Well, against who?
West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. Other scores, FSU 86, North Florida 58, Ohio State 77, Morehead State 44, Missouri 83, Oregon 75. This idea of Michigan not playing Ohio State is very much in play.
What do you mean?
It's being reported all over. It's a number surge. And that would probably, if Michigan does not play Ohio State, Ohio State is out of the Big Ten championship game. It would be Northwestern probably versus Indiana in the Big Ten championship game.
Oh my Lord!
It would, more than likely then, because knock a Big Ten team out of the college football playoffs. But as we're sitting right now, Ohio State is at the 3. So we'll see what happens. This would cement the legacy of Harbaugh if he somehow did this as just the ultimate villain.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Would he be up? Okay, let's do this then. Would he? Is he on the Mount Rushmore of most hated coaches?
Ooh. Let's make a quick list.
Let's make a quick list because I just don't know if there's.
Right, so
I mean, if we go with our head, we go with like.
I'll write his name at the top, and then let's see. Hated coaches.
Does it have to be football only? Can it be more? Like, what do you?
I think you got to pull as many sports in as you can.
Okay.
Because I don't feel there's a ton of hated. Is Bill Belichick hated?
He's hated because he's good. He's hated
but is he a jerk?
He can be.
I think he's just very short with people, as in he just gives short, concise answers. I don't necessarily think he comes off as a jerk. Okay?
Yeah.
Nick Saban, to me, is a jerk.
Yes.
And that's not just because he wins. So I'm going to have Saban on the list. I also think, I asked you this the other day, And you said you never disliked him, but I think people do. Bobby Knight?
There's people that don't like him because he laid his hand on a kid, a college athlete. So
I would say I never disliked Bobby Knight either, but I say he goes on the list because so many other people do.
Well, the nominees are coming in on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment.
All right, there you go. There we go.
Pete Carroll.
Okay. I'll pencil him in, but I don't agree with that. But we're going to write every name that we get. Okay.
Yep. Scott Frost.
Yeah, he's not liked here in this state.
PJ Fleck.
PJ Fleck. Okay. I just not liked here. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm putting Tony La Russa on there.
La Russa?
Yeah, I've never really liked him as a manager. The only really thing I really liked him is that he seemed to always have control over the situation with an umpire by being passive aggressive.
What about
Coach K?
Billy Martin?
Billy Martin gets to go on the list. Coach K.
Krzyzewski?
Yeah.
No. Not even putting it on there.
Tim Brewster.
Who the hell's Tim Brewster?
Former Minnesota coach.
Nah, no one knows him.
Does Bielema make it?
Bielema?
Bielema makes it. Yeah, Brett Bielema.
Why?
He goes up to Wisconsin. He has success. So for us, it's like, we don't have Bielema.
I never hated Bielema. I'm sorry.
I didn't appreciate what he did to Wisconsin. And I know we had Kakert on.
What, when he left to go to Arkansas?
Yeah, he did it at the midnight hour. He claims the reason why he did it and didn't tell anybody because Alvarez would have talked him out of it, and he knows it. But he just left him in the midnight hour.
I'll put him on there, but I don't think he makes it.
Buddy Ryan?
Yes, Buddy Ryan. Definitely.
Jerry Glanville?
No. Buddy Ryan is... He might be 1-1.
Why am I at a loss of...
I know.
What? No, I think the good one, and Tom Glenn puts it on there, and Glancy's got a good one too. Hold on. The Joe Paterno just seems so obvious.
Here's my deal.
Uh-huh.
As much as Urban Meyer, Ryan Fick, good call.
Oh, Urban Meyer. Here's another good one by Glancy, Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin.
There's for every time.
I know who we were talking about. Joe Pa.
Okay.
Here's the deal. I get he made some huge mistakes when it came to this thing with Sandusky. And nobody's been more critical than me. But Joe Pa is not hated.
I don't care for him.
I don't care for him, but okay. I don't think he's hated.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not throwing him on the list. Oh, another good one.
Erickson says Mike McCarthy.
Thank you, Erickson.
Thanks for the nomination.
We're forgetting somebody.
Who?
Woody Hayes.
Okay, Woody Hayes, definitely.
I mean, Woody Hayes put his hand on a player from the other team. He wound up Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
I mean, Woody Hayes is definitely on. I'm giving him the number 2, 1-1A to Buddy Ryan.
Didn't Tomlin trip a guy once that was running down the field?
Mike Tomlin?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think he did, but I'm still not putting him on there. Yeah.
I really did.
There's a couple other...
All right, go.
No, just give me a second. I'm thinking about... God, it's such a great story, too. The old basketball coach for Iowa State that ended up going down...
Oh, Bruce Pearl?
No. Basketball coach but Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, Pearl needs to go on this list. But, you're talking about the Natty Light guy.
Yeah. See, he's got... Oh, that's going to drive
Come on,
me nuts.
somebody.
Yeah.
Larry Eustace.
There you go. And then there's Tim Floyd too. He's on there. All right. So, and I get Easer A's is right. This is the list we're making, and we need to differentiate between dirtballs and hated.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to be. Now here's another guy.
Mm-hmm.
Old mushmouth from Notre Dame, Lou Holtz.
Lou Holtz?
Yeah. He was not liked. He grabbed a guy by the face mask. His own player. I'm not just saying.
Yeah.
Him and Bobby Knight got a lot in common.
There's every once in a while, if you can get you're tuning in at the right time, you get to hear.
God, I really like that Urban Meyer.
Dan Le Batard when they do the such and such looks like this. And one of my favorites is Lane Kiffin looks like the guy that guns it in a no-wake zone while boating. And they also said Pete Carroll looks like every Scooby-Doo villain when they pull the mask off. So that's great.
Oh, man.
John Calipari gets a nod, yes?
Yeah.
Is Pat Riley hated?
Pat Riley?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He's the only thing, like, he's kind of, I mean, he's a good GM. He's a pretty good dirtball.
I don't think he's hated.
I don't think Dusty Baker's hated.
Well, no. Dusty, we trusty. Everybody loved him for a while.
Rich Rodriguez. Steve Spurrier. Can't spell citrus without UT. That's a good one. When he was make fun of Tennessee because they'd beat him every year.
I actually like the old ball coach.
I'll
throw him on there.
So then you got Bobby Bowden, too.
Bobby Bowden was always the bridesmaid, never the bride for long. I'll put Bowden on there.
He called FSU Free Shoes University. Spurrier did.
Oh.
And I was thinking of one more that I don't know why it's going away from my head, but yeah.
What about who was the guy that yelled in there? I'm a man. I'm 40.
And Mike Gundy.
Gundy.
Yeah, you want to talk to me. I might still even have that.
I'm 40.
Yeah. That was a pretty good drop.
Oh, man. He was kind of trying to think other basketball coaches. Anybody from the 80s? It was Bobby for sure.
See, you got not dirt, but it's Steve Alford in this town.
Yes.
Like, thanks, Glenn. I'll never forget years later driving through Cedar Rapids, and he was already at UCLA, and they were still on the local show, probably Brommel Camp, still just bashing him. Like 7 years later, like, let it go. But yeah, he's not. I mean, they did Mike Tressman's a good one. AJ Hinch. Major League seemed to forgive him pretty fast. But yeah, Iowa fans to this day still lose their mind over Alford. But universally, I don't know how much if he's a blip on anyone's radar. I'm not a big fan of Urban Meyer, and I think that whole thing that He's Ray says he heard some 10U girls talking about their coach, but they wouldn't say his name. There's definitely some other coaches that don't like the third base coach for the.
Does his name rhyme with Faye Joster?
Yeah, there's some coaches and maybe an umpire here or there that do not like the third base coach for the Quad City Stingers. It's too quick-witted, too sharp with that tongue.
All right, I'm. Well, tell me how wrong I am, but I am seriously all in on Buddy Ryan and Woody Hayes.
Let's go back. Let's take our break, and then we'll come back. And I think we got AC coming in at 1:30, but let's finish up this list and see who we can put on the Mount Rushmore. Yeah.
Front Street Brewery, Jaybird.
Yes, sir.
Oldest pub in the state of Iowa. Nestled right along the bank of the Mississippi River here in Davenport.
They put a post about this meatloaf thing. It was fantastic looking. I didn't go down there. I was busy yesterday, but yeah.
I love what they do down there for food. Yeah. So good. Been there since 92, Quad Cities, and they've been serving great beers to you like the Davenport Gold, the Wise Guy, the Raging River, and everybody's favorite, the Cherry Bomb Blonde. Remember their Facebook page. You can go to that and check out all the food and drink specials so you can see the meatloaf sandwich and all the other great things they come up with. Or the webpage is available at www.frontstreetbrew.com. Remember, the restaurant is at 208 East Trevor Drive, and the tap room is just a click down the road in the Freight House Complex. So please, stop down today and try some food and try some brews from our friends at Front Street Brewery.
Like that! You like that! Holy cow!
This is Rachel Alger with St. Ambrose University, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
We take you back to 1954.
I'm looking for a revolutionary sound.
Plug, 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 plug. Your toilet's plugged, plugged, plugged.
That's not it.
Well, since my baby left me, my party's been all plugged up.
Next.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name.
And away go troubles down the drain.
Roto-Rooter.
That's it!
Roto-Rooter has been locally owned for over 60 years and is the trusted expert. Call the original Roto-Rooter for free estimates and fast 24-hour service.
Roto-Rooter.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Kendrick Perkins.
Max, you argued me down on First Take about how good of a player Chris Middleton was.
No, I didn't.
And I told you. Yes, you did. And I told you that he wasn't that type of guy, right?
Just making
but he
stuff up
did
now?
play. Oh, I'm making stuff up. Do I need
I
to pull
argued
up the
for Chris
evidence?
Middleton. No, I said Chris Middleton should be at best the third best player on a championship team. You need another dude who can go get his own shot and do it on a higher level than Middleton if you want to pair him with Giannis to win a championship. I never said anything different than that. I wasn't thinking the Bucks were going to win a title this year. Come on.
Did you have the Bucks coming out of the East?
Yep. I sure did. Shut up, Perk. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
Uh-oh, he's eyeballing a jar of candy.
That is tempting right off the start.
But he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him for the apple.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle.
That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
In these uncertain times, it's vital to keep our most vulnerable children and their families connected to the resources they need. Big Brothers Big Sisters does just that. Our adult mentors are in regular contact with littles and their families. We talk with parents to make sure they are receiving necessities that help keep their children healthy and safe. We believe that every child has potential. Please help us defend that potential with your gift.
Go to kidsconnectedqc.org. That's kidsconnectedqc.org.
Janae and Golick Jr.
Janae, through all of, Russell Wilson, we know he's a lot, from Mr. Unlimited to the weird video announcing his contract staying in Seattle, the bubble water, his bad dance moves behind Sierra's music videos. Through all of it, he's still winning. I would trust him and Tyler Lockett with my PIN number, with any amount of money that I needed in my life. These guys are the surest bet in pro sports right now, and it's nice. We always like to say give people flowers while they can still smell them. Russell Wilson has been this quarterback. This is not a new version of him as far as I'm concerned, but it's a new version of this team putting its offense in his hands. He's getting all of the conversation around him and his ability that he's richly deserved for a while. And so in the interest of giving people their flowers, I'm really happy to see this, on a fundamental level, for a guy who's been playing this kind of ball and been meaning this kind to his team.
Janae and Golick Jr. 306 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
When you own a business, every precious second of your life is spent focusing on how to make it successful and profitable. You spend so much time worrying about making things right, the last thing you need to worry about is when things go wrong. That's where we come in.
Jorgensen Insurance, our worldwide resources allow us to give your business the most comprehensive and cost-effective commercial insurance plan anywhere. Online at jorgenseninsurance.com. Now, get back to work.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB Davenport.
Welcome back to Don't Ask Us a Local live on AM 1170. Jay and I were in the midst of starting a Mount Rushmore of hated coaches. And then we kind of started something. We each did our 4. And then I gave Jay 2 alternates. And Jay, I kind of had to turn mine because of our comment from Eddie. So what I did is 4 that would be my nationals, and 4 that I would just build like on a tree in my house.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like these guys don't get to be in rock because I hate them so much.
Okay.
All right. So you're 4. You want to name them?
Sure.
All right. You go first.
Okay. On my Mount Rushmore, most hated coaches is Nick Saban.
Agree.
Yeah, it's, he, to me, the guy couldn't make it in the NFL and then went back just to bully college kids. And he's been successful there. Good for him. He may make me laugh, but Lane Kiffin goes on there. Anyone who...
I can't disagree with it, but I see why.
Anybody who sits there and says like there's no such thing as bad press, or if they're talking about us, it's my name's still in print, even if it's bad. It's you're doing it on purpose. Then I put Harbaugh on. Obviously, he's a little abrasive, and the story of him and when Peyton Manning was a free agent.
Oh yeah, and
they're playing catch. And he says to Peyton Manning, who again a free agent, he says, "Ooh, looks like the old coach has got a little bit more zip on the ball than you." And Peyton Manning was like, "I'm out. I don't want to have a coach who is constantly comparing the way he can play to what I'm doing." And then finally, Urban Meyer. I didn't like what he did I didn't like what he did down in Florida, and says like, "Oh, my health conditions or whatever else," only to take a job at Fox Sports for a year and then to go to Ohio State. And
well, both times he quit to avoid being suspended. That's what happened.
And then he finally got in trouble for covering up a wife beater. So
yeah, and we're in full agreement on 2 of these, by the way. Saban. Okay. So on my national rock wall, I have Urban Meyer and Nick Saban, and for the same exact reasons you mentioned, and mine even goes deeper because when Saban couldn't make it in the NFL, he didn't do any favors to the Miami Dolphins, and I'm sure Merrick Brave remembers all those too well. And then Urban Meyer left because he basically made a team of thugs and murderers out of the Florida Gators, and then came to Ohio State and tried to do the same thing there. I mean, granted, we hate Ohio State just because they're in our conference, but anywho, my other 2, Jay, Woody Hayes, there were stories that the story I've always heard that's better than even him tackling the guy on the sideline. Woody Hayes once was going to recruit a kid out of Michigan, and he had to drive up there, and he's with one of his assistant coaches, and they're driving, and as they're getting closer and closer to the Ohio border, the gas gauge is getting lower and lower and lower. And the assistant coach is finally like, "Woody, are you going to stop and get gas?" And he freaked out on him and said, "I'm not spending a GD amount of money in this effing state."
Wow.
That's how big of a jerk he was. And then the other one is always, I've hated him forever, Buddy Ryan. I can't stand Buddy Ryan for his time at the Eagles, and I hate Buddy Ryan. And I hate his 2 jackass sons, too.
Yeah, actually, that was pointed out, I think, by Easer A's on the Harrington's-Field Facebook comment thread. That was that Rex give me them toes, Ryan, should be on some of the list.
Now, my little one on my tree at home goes. 2 of them go back to high school. And first one's for Eddie, Coach Hearn, and the other one for me, Coach Hull. Those 2, they can go in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even say why. The other 2, Mike McCarthy and Jason Garrett.
Oh, yeah, the clapper.
The clapper and the fat clapper.
Yep, the clapper and the fatter.
Oh, I hate those 2 so much.
Well, I was thinking about, you guys Cowboys had a coach after he, what's wrong with me?
Dave.
No.
Barry?
Yes, Barry Switzer. Yeah, I was thinking about him too.
He popped in my head for a hot second.
But he's
just more of a ding dong.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not hated, he's just a ding dong.
So, Easer A's, obviously, when you brought that up, he said, "Who is the worst coach you ever had?" I don't know.
Personal?
Yeah,
it was Whole.
I had it. I had a wrestling coach I didn't really particularly care for, but I didn't say he was the worst coach. He just kind of mismanaged the team and asked me to cut weight when I shouldn't have been, but used it as like a kind of made it my responsibility. So he called me in and he said, we have a freshman, it was unvarsity wrestler, and he said he's having trouble making 125. And I was wrestling at 130. And it was kind of a situation like, you're a captain. What do you think we can do about this? I said, you asking me to go down to 25? And he just was like, well, don't really want to ask or push you or press you anything. And I went down to 25. And I do think it ended up hurting me. I lost a lot of muscle because of it, strength. And I ended up choking at districts that year and not making the state. Wow. So I really, and he kind of even pushed me that way. He said, look at our districts, and I think you've got a better chance of making it at 25. And I choked. Right. But I did say to him when I walked off, all for naught. Right, Coach? And that was it. That's the only thing I thought I had. Now, there were other stories back in the day of a coach who, a coach, like a baseball coach.
I've had some good coaches.
I've had great coaches.
My favorite and my best baseball coach was Coach Van Syke.
Yeah.
And he's passed away now, but Van Syke was great. He was my 8th grade math teacher, and then he ended up being our sophomore baseball coach.
Yeah, I have had great coaches because it led me to go into teaching and coaching also.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot more that are more influential to me than anything else. Some of them still mentors to this day.
If Eddie's still listening, I wonder who he's throwing out there as his favorite coach. I think I know who it's going to be, but I want to see what he says. Yeah. And I think he's going to say our 7th grade football coach.
Your 7th grade football coach?
I think so.
Now
we'll see what he says.
I've had some stories of coaches that that stuff makes me laugh when you look at hindsight that they could have fun with things like.
Did Eddie say anything yet?
No, not yet. Oh yeah, Lane.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so he did say that, and I've
that's what I thought he was going to say.
Looking back on things, the story that I've told, like when we were playing high school football, and I didn't. He said or Wilcox.
All right, yeah, I forgot about Wilcox.
I had a defensive back.
See, I was thinking Lane, Eddie. So I forgot Wilcox was a coach on that team too.
And I like the guy, everything else, and it was, to me, it's funny. We're up enough on a team, and I looked over the sidelines. I'm playing free safety, and that's how much we're in. I'm actually playing, and he's
you're ahead.
Yeah, that's how much. Yeah, and then
and who was it you looked over at?
I looked over at our defense back, Coach Hodem, and I said, "They're punting," and he said, "I know," and I said, "Well, who's going to return it?" And he said, "You." And I'd never returned a punt. And they're like laughing at it. The coaches are laughing. And so, again, when I tell the story, they punted it. I know exactly where it was. You're not supposed to pick up a punt once it hits the ground. I did. I looked up, and some Davenport West Falcon was coming at me. I made one move and got out of the way. I juked him. And I clearly to this day, and this is a long time ago, to this day, I just remember I juked him. And I went to do it again, and I slipped, and I just got drilled. I mean, the return was so small, it didn't even make the stats in the paper the next day. So, which is also funny because
you juked one guy.
Yeah. And this also another time, and Tom Glenn was on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. His father, Coach Glenn, was an 8th grade football coach and my wrestling coach as well, in middle school. And another time, it's 4th down. What are we doing? We're punting. Who is? You are. And they had a good laugh.
You had to punt?
I had to punt. I threw that thing up in the air, and you know how you're supposed to hold it and then punt it? Like, I was so nervous. I just threw it up in the air and just kicked my foot. It went -2 yards. And they ended up giving me a certificate at the end of the year for the worst punt. -2 yards. But you know what? If you can have fun with those things, those are stories that I love to tell. I don't care about, like, oh, did he try to embarrass me? I don't think that at all. I think they were having fun with it, and like, hey, you get out there, do these things.
We were punting, yeah. Ooh, yeah. You,
yeah.
Oh,
same thing. You're returning it. So I've had good times with that. So those they're good coaches. They know when to lighten up the mood, and sometimes coaching was different back then. There was a lot more yelling. Right now we kind of coddle, and we want to make sure that the kids are, we don't want to yell at them. We don't want to come down on them. Your post game stuff is all about how they're all stars and everything. And I'm influenced by some of them. I don't really sugarcoat a lot of things, and that includes some of the speeches I've had with high school girls when I was coaching, to my wrestlers, to 10U. I'll tell you one other good story. I was coaching wrestling, and we had practice on January 1st. And the kids were just sluggish, just absolutely sluggish. And later on, I was told by some of the kids they were sluggish, and they were not listening to what I was doing when I was having them do conditioning and everything else. And some of these wrestlers have grown up to be great guys, teachers, whatever else, and still in contact with me. And I remember yelling at them, saying, like, that's it. You guys are out all night long, New Year's Eve, partying it up. You guys are hungover. And then later on, the kids were like, you smelled so bad like booze. And you're sitting there criticizing us about everything. So it's one of those things you kind of come down on them or whatever else. And like later on, they're like, you remember when you gave that speech? And I was like, yeah. They're like, dude, you were out the night before, not us. I'm like, yeah, you got me. Well, it's
why you
it's been a
scheduling
while.
practice on that day, Coach Foster?
Because our coaches always did. It's been a while since we had Coach's Corner, so it's kind of fun to do that most hated list and then also share some stories. So I haven't, because we haven't been able to have any wrestling or anything like that until December 10th. So hopefully that all opens up and we'll get after it again. But all right, we got to take our second break. Hopefully AC will be in any minute, and we'll talk a little bit about Iowa basketball. And I just did the math.
Yeah.
I think we might see Luka this year become the all-time career scoring leader. He scored 740 points last year. Now, take away what he's done now, I think he's done like just under 70 or something like that in 2 games.
But they missed the playoffs. Or I should say
they didn't have
tournament.
Yeah. So last year he had 740 points, and that's the all-time in a season. If he does it, he's sitting right now at 9 with just 1,626 points. If he
how many does he need to take it?
Just about 540 more.
Oh, he's taking it.
Yeah.
Who's number one? Is it still Ray Marble?
Yeah, it's Roy Marble at 2,116.
And he's at what? 16 what?
He's at 1,626. So even if he just puts up 700 more, let's just take away.
He's 490 away.
Yeah, we're gonna see this. We're just gonna every week. We're just gonna, because he scores tonight. If he puts up, he's gonna put up 10 tonight.
They got how many more games to play? 20.
I think it's a 20-game schedule. Was it? I'd have to go look at their schedule. I'm sorry I don't.
So let's just say there's 18 more games plus the tournament. So we'll just say 18. Even if he does it, 490 divided by 18 would be pretty easy. 490 divided by 18. He only needs to average 27 a game.
Well, he's gonna when he scores 10 tonight, he'll pass Matt Gatens to he'll be number 8 on the list. Then Ronnie Lester, Roy Devin Marble is in front of him. BJ, so he'll by the time we
who's the top 5 right now?
Top 5 is Roy Marble at 2. I already told you that. Aaron White at 1859. Then our boy AC Earl at 1779.
Oh wow.
Greg Stokes at 1768.
Twin Tower.
And then BJ Armstrong at 1705.
Man.
So once he gets into the 1700s, he'll be in the top 6, top 5, right around there. And that's probably is going to happen with, depends. He'll get Western Illinois, he'll get Northern Illinois, he'll get his points tonight. Look for this, because Western Illinois is not, they were 1-11, I said, last year on the road. They got a brand new coach. The top 3 players, the scores from last year don't return. And when we're also on break, maybe I'll look up what the actual line is, because it's going to be interesting. So, all right, let's take our final break of the day, and then hopefully we'll get AC in here soon, talk more Iowa basketball, have some fun. Maybe he has some bad coaches that he had when he was traveling overseas. So, all right, we'll be right back. ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us for local.
You like that? You like that?
This is UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local.
Come on into Tyson's, more for Christmas.
We have gifts for everyone on your list this year, and all at more savings for you. Take care of the kids in your list with huge savings in our Tyson's Toy Shop. Get more for comfort and style with Carhartt, Ariat, Durango, and more. On sale now. What shopping list for Dad wouldn't be complete without a trip to Tyson's? Save today on deals from DeWalt and Milwaukee. Tyson's. Home, farm, auto.
Don't let supporting local business be all talk. Put your money where your community is. It's time to walk the walk and keep your money local. Products and services, for business or fun, you name it. You can get it all here in the Quad Cities. So be a loudmouth about supporting local business and tell others, because every dollar we keep in the Quad Cities increases our collective success. Let's do this. Learn more at keepitqc.com, a Quad Cities Chamber initiative.
Janae and Golick Jr.
Janae, through all of, Russell Wilson, we know he's a lot, from Mr. Unlimited to the weird video announcing his contract staying in Seattle, the bubble water, his bad dance moves behind Sierra's music videos. Through all of it, he's still winning. I would trust him and Tyler Lockett with my PIN number, with any amount of money that I needed in my life. These guys are the surest bet in pro sports right now, and it's nice. We always like to say give people flowers while they can still smell them. Russell Wilson has been this quarterback. This is not a new version of him as far as I'm concerned, but it's a new version of this team putting its offense in his hands. He's getting all of the conversation around him and his ability that he's richly deserved for a while. And so in the interest of giving people their flowers, I'm really happy to see this, like, on a fundamental level for a guy who's been playing this kind of ball and been meaning this kind to his team.
Janae and Golick Jr. 306 on the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
Make light work of everything with Honda's top-of-the-line family of Pioneer 1000 side-by-sides. All models sport a best-in-class engine and an exclusive 6-speed automatic dual-clutch transmission. Then there's the 1005 models, equipped with Honda's quick-flip seating that seats up to 5 passengers. So find your next Honda Pioneer today at Fun Mart Cycle Center, 1320 36th Avenue, Moline. For your safety, read the owner's manual, wear a helmet and eye protection. Always wear your seatbelt and keep the side nets and doors closed. Pioneers are for drivers 16 years and older.
Everything motorcycle store.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
There's absolutely nothing, for example, the New York Jets can do this season that is going to change the fact that they're going to be a terrible football team. So does firing the coach help? Well, they're trying to develop a young quarterback in Sam Darnold. And all of you across the country who may not see a lot of him saw why Jet fans like me remain hopeful about him. Because he obviously has so much physical ability, but he still makes terrible mistakes, and so much of that can be laid at the feet of the brilliant offensive mind whose job it is to develop him. And so I guess my feeling is, if the head coach is doing such a bad job that the team can't beat anybody, that they commit 11 penalties in a game, including multiple dirty late hits, including one on the very last play of the game that had the opposing coach telling his players run off the field before we have a brawl out here. And oh, by the way, the quarterback is regressing.
Greeny, weekdays at 11 on the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers, but maybe you're unaware of new tools that can help your business stand out. Go to townsquarequadcities.com now for a free market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too. There's no cost and no obligation. Be one of the first business owners to sign up and receive $500 in free advertising here on ESPN 1170. Get started today. Call 563-202-2230 or visit townsquarequadcities.com.
Your home for the NFL. This is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, everybody, we're back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right Satellite and Dish. And this is your favorite Quad Cities sports talk radio show. Don't hassle us for local.
You know, earlier I talked to you about RG3 in the draft. Do you know the person that went third in that draft overall? Andrew Luck went 1 that year. This is the number in 2012.
2012.
Because last night that was just his second start since New Year's Day 2017 was RG3 last night in the game that wasn't on NBC, KWQC.
Can you tell me the team?
The team that took him?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. It was the Cleveland Browns.
Okay. Was it... He was a defensive end?
Nope. He was a running back. And he's no longer in the league.
Interesting. Tell me the school.
The college that he went to?
Yeah.
Alabama.
Oh, he ended up playing for your Alabama.
Yeah.
In the XFL or the AAF.
Yeah, the Iron.
Shoot.
Alabama Iron, whatever. Birmingham Iron.
I can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Remember
Jay.
when he got traded and we thought that was like the craziest trade ever? Like that the Browns got rid of him?
Yeah.
And he went to the Colts. Trent Richardson.
That's right. He was a Heisman Trophy winner, too.
A little bit of a hodgepodge of things. We've mentioned that we watched The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. Chess is a sport. And we also talked about,
Who was that told us that chess is up?
It is up. It's an 87 increase. Since the series' October 23rd premiere, sales of chess sets in the United States have increased 87%. Sales of chess books, meanwhile, have increased 603%.
Good Lord.
Chess.com's daily registration of new users has spiked as high as 30,000 compared to 6,000 each day before the show's premiere.
Should we stop and get a chessboard on our way?
Yeah. The book thing is the one because she studies those books all the time. Like I told you, I can play normal chess, but I can't come up with the move, the Queen's Gambit. I wouldn't even know what that is.
Is that what they named it?
Yeah, it's a move.
I never picked that up.
Yeah, it's a move. So that's about the only one
I don't know the name of the moves either. I kind of know what I do when I play, and it's probably there's a name for it. I guarantee it. So, but I don't have no idea what I would call it.
It's a good enough show that I'd watch it again. Then 64 years ago today, Wilt Chamberlain made his varsity debut at Kansas in an 87-69 win over Northwestern, setting the single-game school record for both points. He had 52 points in rebounds. He had 31 rebounds in the process. In 2 years as a Jayhawk, now keep in remember, the conference rules then prohibited freshmen from playing varsity ball. In 2 years as a Jayhawk, Wilt averaged 29.9 points and 18.3 rebounds. That's crazy. When he was finally on the team as a sophomore, Kansas made a run all the way to the national championship, losing to UNC by 1 point in triple overtime. That was the Tar Heels' first title. Wilt did end the tournament's most outstanding player, becoming the fourth to win the award despite not winning the title. He was something else. December 3rd, 1956, he made his debut. We mentioned earlier the college football playoffs, and someone said on the Harrington's Pub comment thread, I think it was Easer A's, that he said Barry Alvarez said that if Michigan doesn't play that game, they're going to change their rules. So, if Michigan, Ohio State...
What do you mean they change what rules?
the rules are that you have to get at least 6 conference games to be able to go to play in the Big Ten championship. So, yeah, I guess they're changing it to get Ohio State in because they want Ohio State to play in the college football playoffs.
Right.
Because I said 4. I said earlier it's 4. They're actually 4. Ohio State is number 4 in the latest, the second and latest college football playoff rankings. Those rankings were released last night. Iowa State's at 9. Yeah. And looks like they're going to be on their way to playing in the Big 12 title game. What would be really, really cool is if somebody figures this out and they get Iowa State to play in the bowl game. And that would be neat. And I don't know what scenario. I don't know if they're holding these conferences to their contracts, like the Sun Bowl gets the team that's this record or whatever from the Big Ten, or like it used to be Iowa would go down to the Alamo Bowl every year, but I don't even know if they how much they have in with the Big Ten anymore.
What's the bowl in San Diego, Jay? You know I love that bowl.
The Holiday Bowl.
Yeah,
that's where they were last year. That's when Caker thought that they got they thought all the writers got sick with COVID then down there.
Oh yeah. Which they could have.
Yeah, very much so. So
it was out 3 months prior. Did you see that report by the CDC or somebody threw it out there?
What's that?
It might have been CNN, one of these places.
Oh, I posted that, by the way. The CDC, and I just wrote. They posted a new thing yesterday. They're talking about changing rules. So I just wrote, "Piss off, CDC," on my thing because I'm just so angry about. So angry.
The man's
about it.
here.
So now, on Wednesday, it said that a shorter quarantine period of 7 days with a negative COVID-19 test and 10 days without a test would work for individuals showing no symptoms after virus exposure. So I would have just had to quarantine. I wouldn't have had to get the test or anything. They're just changing what they're telling people and everything else. So, and now obviously they're like the Big Ten will change their rules so that they can get Ohio State into the they'll beat Northwestern.
They want it, but the Big Ten needs to have a team in the tournament. In the final
playoffs,
four, in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
AC Earl just joins us in the studio. What's up, AC?
Hey.
According to CBSSports.com, they've got Iowa versus Ole Miss in the Music City Bowl in Nashville. And they've got Iowa State playing USC in the Alamo Bowl. But that's just bowl projections of what they know right now. Obviously, some of those things can change. But AC, what's up, my man?
Hey, just navigating, as they say.
So we were looking at Luka's all-time points and speculating with the amount of games left, plus just going off this schedule. I think there's 18 games left on this schedule. Were we right on that, Jay?
I'm going to look it up while you talk to AC real quick.
But if that's correct, he needs to average 27 per game to become the all-time leading scorer at Iowa.
That's a little tough.
It's tough.
I don't think anybody's averaged 27 at Iowa.
Well, he put up 740 points last year. He's the all-time single season. So, I mean, really all he has to do is like 540. And I'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
compelling radio.
13, 26, 27 games that they have on schedule.
27 games?
Yeah.
Left?
Yes, on their record for the season. Now,
that's
if they get all the games.
If they get all the games in.
Yeah,
that's going to be the big if, yeah.
That is the caveat.
So, yeah.
And you said AC is your third on the list?
I'm third. I got knocked out. I left as second. I got knocked out by
White.
Aaron White. Yeah, a kid from Ohio.
So I was up in Iowa City for the Southern game.
18 per game.
18 per game. Yeah. So I was up in Iowa City for the Southern game. When we go into half, Luke is sitting at 36.
Mm-hmm.
So then it starts talking about what are we going to do here? What's going to happen? How is this going to look? And that's when I started Googling the single game. I knew nothing of John Johnson.
Oh, John Johnson was he was a stud.
When I read about him, when I read about him, I was amazed.
He was a stud. He has I think he had 30 rebounds in one game or something like that.
And he was played in the 50s, Jay?
No, it was
50s, 60s or something like that.
Yeah, I think he left Iowa in 1970 and led him to an NCAA tournament berth. Iowa was 14-0 his senior year. Him and downtown Freddie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So the crazy thing about him is to read more about how he had 12-year NBA career, but he's considered to be the very first point forward.
Yeah, he was about anywhere from 6'7" to 6'9", I thought.
Yeah.
But he was long and athletic.
He was 6'7", yeah.
Yeah. Jump out the gym. I think he has an all-time Iowa rebounding record at 30, maybe.
Well,
something like that.
He has.
You truly are a man of the history of the game, AC. I'll tell you.
I love the history of the game.
I never heard of this guy till Jay brought it up. I'm like, even though as a kid growing up, it wasn't like I knew a lot that was going on. But once
very influential for Iowa African American players. He was, one of the first to go.
Yeah.
And kind of have a good career and kind of started the train of coming.
I couldn't name a coach before Lou. That was it. I just knew Lou, and then Lute. Lute Olson. But it was Lou.
But interestingly enough,
yeah.
Lou Holtz was a grad assistant at Iowa.
Lou Holtz was?
Yes. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they had Luka play a little bit more than they did the previous two nights when they against North Carolina Central.
Mm-hmm.
So the buzz was there. Is it going to happen? Is he going to have the single game? Well, Kakert pointed out that he does hold the single game Iowa record in Kinnick. Carver. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he's got that, which it's not even reflected anywhere when you look it up. But he came out. He finally missed. He made a shot, and then he finally missed one. Then he banged in a 3-pointer, and there was not much after that. I think.
It's tough to play those games and do well when the score is out of question. You know what I mean? It's you're just kind of stat padding, which in college you don't see a lot.
Well, it just seemed like the opposing coach from Southern finally just figured out who Luka Garza was, and maybe had his guys guard him.
Right. I was surprised they didn't double team him.
It was incredible.
It was incredible. But to their point, they had 2 practices.
Yes. In
48 days.
Mm-hmm.
So not a lot of basketball was going on there.
It started like their game philosophy was we're going to hold the basketball as long as we can to try to prevent them from scoring, and then we're going to try to get them with threes, and that's why Southern was leading at the beginning, but they don't have their legs underneath them.
Yeah, they don't have, And remember I called that. I said it's these teams that don't have the logistical and the facilities to practice, and they just can't do anything. Sometimes these teams can hang in there, make it interesting at half, and then your talent overweighs. But we're just seeing these teams get blown out from the first minutes of the game.
How much college basketball are you watching right now?
I'm watching a lot. I watched Gonzaga last night. I watched Baylor, Illinois. I'm consuming. I love it. I think we talked about it a little bit. I like the AAU. Hey, whoever's around, let's just play.
Right. Go to Twitter and just be like, hey, we need people. Yeah.
Hey, who can play? Teams are flying out in a day, going to the bubble. The Mohegan bubble is like the safest place to be. The kids are like, hey, we're getting free room service. We can hang out in the casino and just kind of do our thing. There's no class. Everything's online. So nobody has to be back for school. So it's kind of like the AAU bubble, college bubble. So, and I think that's what it's going to have to be. I wish football would kind of go to that. And I think BYU or Utah was doing that in a sense. But, whoever can play, let's just play. Let's just get the games in.
The line tonight for the Iowa-Western Illinois is Iowa minus 31.5.
Western will cover.
You think so?
Yeah.
Did you see that backdoor cover by Southern with that when he chalked up that 3-pointer?
What did I tweet you? Don't bet on college kids.
Yeah. You tweeted back.
That was a bad beat. It even made bad beats, and Van Pelt picked it up. But yeah, I like Western because one of the Irvin brothers is there. There's 4 Irvin brothers from the legendary Mac Irvin family.
Okay.
Mac Irvin Sr. ran grassroots basketball with Sonny Vaccaro. There's a great AAU team, Mac Irvin Fire, that's from Chicago. The brothers have all coached and did well, and I think they're going to do well at Western, so I would pick Western to cover.
The over-under's at 154, and that's what I was kind of looking at as well.
I think it'll be under. I think, Irvin looks at this like, they've taken so many jobs. All the brothers have coached. They all look at this is their opportunity to show college basketball what they can do.
I feel like this is going to be more like a 90. 154 is going to be in play, okay? We're going to be flirting with that because if I'm looking at a 90-64 game, Western Illinois covers, and then you've hit the over-under, and that kind of feels in play. I don't know what type of what Fran's going to do. It seemed to be versus Southern. He kept the starters in longer probably to get their legs, but they're looking at UNC next Tuesday, then Iowa State, and then Gonzaga coming up in 16 days.
Yep, so they can't, so he can't. He definitely can't run them more than what he wants to.
But with that time off, I mean, they're going to have 5 days off till they play UNC again. You don't know how much he's going to leave the playing time in. I was telling T-Roy, because there's going to be a lot of buzz about this team. Sports fans, Iowa fans are going to talk about it. We can talk about Garza, but I said if you want to be in the know, if you want to sound like you're in the know of Iowa basketball, Keegan Murray is the name to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I think he was the better of the two. I get him confused.
It's Chris and Keegan,
Yeah, I get him confused, but I think he was the better of the two.
Yeah, he came out and he just scored 2 points in the first game against North Carolina Central in the first half, but then went off for 10 points.
Did they grow up in Cedar Rapids? Is that right?
Yeah, and then they went to
Prairie.
Yeah,
CR Prairie.
But then they went to another school,
a prep school down in Florida.
Yeah.
So the better one, I guess Keegan had offers, like a little bit minor D1, a lot of D2. The other brother did not have anything, and I think Fran may have sold him on, hey, if you hang around, we can maybe do something for you in a year or two.
Yeah.
So they both went to a prep school in Florida. They went to a good prep school in Florida, actually.
Yeah.
And did well, grew into their bodies. They have the same build and characteristics as Kenyon did. Kenyon was a late bloomer. Great hands, great instinct of the game, coachable, great kids, great family. I played with Kenyon, I think, 3 years, at Iowa. He actually here's his trivia question for you. He got Mr. Basketball the year Chris Webber did that came out.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kenyon went to a small school in Battle Creek, and he won the state championship.
Okay.
And Chris did not.
Oh.
So they gave it to Kenyon.
They gave it. It was. Did he got it over Chris, or was it a tie? He got it over him.
Chris.
Oh wow. That's incredible.
You can win a bet with that one.
Battle Creek, that's where Roy was from.
No, Roy's from Flint.
Oh, Flint's right.
Yeah.
I know Michigan
but there was
ballers now.
But somebody else from Iowa was from Battle Creek, I thought. During Tom's day when he was recruiting some guys. Maybe it wasn't Tom's recruit. Maybe it was Raveling.
No.
No?
Man. Bill Jones was from Detroit. BJ was from
Flint as well, right?
No. BJ was up upper Detroit. Roy was from Flint. Curtis Cuthbert was from Flint. Montier was from Albion.
Who am I thinking about that was from Battle Creek, Michigan?
Nobody that played at Iowa, I don't think.
Dang.
Guy Rucker was from Inkster, Michigan. But a lot of the Michigan State guys were from Flint. They call those guys the Bedrock, or the Flintstones.
Yeah. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, I'm thinking of somebody, and I can't for the life of me remember. And maybe it wasn't a Hawkeye player. I just know.
There was some Iowa State guys, I believe, that were from Battle Creek.
Okay.
I believe. And then Monte Morris is from Flint. Iowa State guy.
Where was Stokes from?
Greg Stokes?
Uh-huh.
Greg Stokes was from the South, I thought.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Payne was from Quincy.
Yep.
Michael Payne was from Quincy.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in and joining us, AC. We'll stick around. We got a show to do with you and do our thing, and we're going to do the 1995 redraft.
Oh, yeah.
That we get to do. But, T-Roy, good show today, my man.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. And
you two have fun. And
tomorrow we'll be back with Bomber in studio. We'll do our pick six, all that other fun stuff. Reach out to Front Street. Maybe they want to send someone down in to feed us.
Quad Cities, be safe. Love, pizza, and chicken grease.
Don't bet on college kids.